What's up, everybody? Coming at you with a Wit Wednesday where we dive into marketing insights for the home service industry. And we're going to talk about PPC click fraud, what it is, and how to prevent it and save you ad spend. Today, we have Wit's search engine marketing manager, Jeff, with us.
How's it going, Davis?
It's good, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. So tell us, what exactly is PPC click fraud?
Yeah, so click fraud is basically when you're running pay-per-click ads and you have fraudulent activity, whether it be via a bot that is going in automated and clicking on ads, or whether it be a competitor that's essentially manually clicking on ads. And it boils down to unwanted ad spend for our clients. And unfortunately, it's kind of a big problem in our industry.
Yeah. So, what are some stats around exactly how big of a problem it is? Like, what's the percentage there of actual clicks that are fraudulent versus legitimate?
Yeah, the stats can vary quite a bit depending on the source, but according to ClickCease, when I talked to them about it, it's anywhere from 10 to 15% of overall clicks for any pay-per-click campaign in any industry that end up being fraudulent, which was kind of mind-blowing to me, honestly. I kind of questioned that and said, "Are you sure?" And they said they have a ton of data that shows, and certainly some industries are worse than others, but yeah, anywhere from 10 to 15%. So you figure, for large ad spend, that can be a ton of money, especially over the course of a year.
Yeah, it kind of correlates directly to your budget, right? So if 10 to 15% of those clicks are fraudulent, that's 10 or 15% of your overall ad budget that's being wasted. So, Jeff, what are we doing to prevent this?
Yeah, so we're working directly with ClickCease. Google Ads does offer, through kind of a manual review process, the ability to challenge and ultimately get click fraud refunded. But what I have found is that it can be very difficult. It can be kind of like pulling teeth to facilitate that process to A, to identify the click fraud, and then B, to try to work with Google to get that refunded. So we have had much, much better success working directly with ClickCease in particular. And essentially we load these accounts into their platform and they monitor everything through a dashboard. They provide real-time data that you can filter by date range, that gives you an idea of all the IP addresses that are getting blocked, the amount of money that you're saving, and what type of activity is actually considered fraudulent within that activity.
Okay. And this is probably, there's a learning curve to this. So kind of like setting those formulas and those rules, because it might even differ based on the industry or the market. So I'm sure when we go through this process, there's a little bit of a learning curve to optimize that.
Yeah, they actually have recommended, they call them detection rules. So you can set up parameters that are really restrictive or not as restrictive, just based on your industry and what you feel is the best. And you can even vary them per account. So we could have multiple accounts and have multiple different detection rules that we're running that ultimately help to give us the best click activity possible. And so we have done, essentially what ClickCease recommended. I haven't really tweaked a whole lot of accounts when it comes to the detection rules, because it seems to be working really, really well based on how we have it initially set up.
Yeah. So based on last month's result, and you shared this with us recently, Jeff, we saved our clients a total of over $21,000 across all of our clients' PPC campaigns. And that was just in 1 month.
That is in 1 month. And we're projected to do much more. It's going to be closer to 30,000 this month. So it's kind of eye-popping to think that, how long were we running without click fraud protection, and how much money was potentially thrown out the window. It's kind of scary, really. And you think of clients running these campaigns on their own, especially without a software like ClickCease, that really have no idea how many of these clicks are fraudulent, how much money they could be saving. So I'm really glad that we partnered with such a great company like ClickCease. They've been fantastic as far as me reaching out, asking questions. I've certainly fired a lot of them at them to try to figure out best practices and understanding information within the dashboard, et cetera. and they've been great. So I highly recommend them, and they're really good at what they do.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And all that money that we save them is just reinvested back into their campaigns, right? So
That is correct. Yeah, WIT does not pocket that money. We absolutely put that back into ad spend for our clients. So in reality, all this money that's being saved is being directly put back into these campaigns, which is generating leads and ultimately generating them revenue.
that is amazing. Well, thank you, Jeff, for joining us and sharing your expertise on PPC click fraud. For our audience here, if your marketing agency is not talking to you about click fraud, or if you haven't had this conversation or even thought about it, make sure to ask them and make sure that your ad spend is being protected. Because again, that's 10 to 15% of your dollars that could be saved and reinvested into real clicks and real customers. So for more information, visit witdelivers.com or email us at ask@witdelivers.com. Thanks for tuning in for this week's Wit Wednesday, and have an awesome rest of your day.